Oh my god, it's a dragon. Oh my god, look at that, it's a dragon. Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel here at Crack Zach HQ. Just kidding, we don't say that. Today we're gonna be analyzing JJ, who submitted this analysis to be done in our replay analysis chat channel in our Discord, link down in the description below. Check out the description, whole bunch of social links, click them all, follow us on all of them. Do that real quick. This is actually one of the paid analysis. There's a paid sub-only replay analysis channel where I do those before the free ones because I get a lot of submissions and people have been waiting months and months and months. So if you want to skip that wait, skip that line, you just got to sub to my Twitch or my Patreon or become a channel member of my YouTube channel and you get access to that sub-only channel and you can skip the line and get yours done first. So anyone who's been waiting for months now for a free analysis to be done, I know, I'm sorry. Trust me, I know there's a lot of people who've been waiting a long time, but you know, I've always made it clear that you're gonna be waiting some time to get your analysis done. Anyways, with that out of the way, this is gonna be a Diamond 3 Division 2 game. My man said he always is watching my videos, trying to implement my tips, but he's really stuck at around Diamond 3 and can never quite break into Champ. He said he's feeling slow anytime he gets near Champ. So we're gonna help him out, find out what's going wrong, and yeah, it's a YouTube video submission, which is totally fine. You're allowed to do that, but that just means I'm not going to really be able to change up the angles and look at things from other people's perspective. So with all that out of the way, let's get into it. He plays on PlayStation. That's why he had to submit a YouTube video submission. It's a little blurry. It's not amazing quality, but it's not too bad. We'll be able to work with it for sure. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit. Maybe even lower the volume more. We don't really need the volume that much. All right away. Kickoff, not bad. Not bad kickoff. I've seen a lot worse kickoffs at higher ranks. So your kickoff's looking pretty good, at least for this first one. Good job. Okay, that should have been your ball. Hesitant there. And I don't really see a reason to be hesitant there. Maybe you heard your teammate off to your side and that's why you're kind of hesitating. But this is definitely your ball and it's the very start of the game. So until your teammate kind of gives you a reason to not trust their decision making and their rotations, don't hesitate. That's something I've been implementing into my own gameplay a lot lately, is cutting out hesitation as much as possible. It's not so much something you need to worry about at lower ranks. At lower ranks, you do need to sort of think your way through situations until you build up like just the muscle memory and memory bank, and you just build a foundational base of good decision making before you cut out like hesitation. But for me personally, like I would, I'm GC2 and I've been GC2 for like, around GC2, sometimes I'll dip into GC1 for a minute, sometimes I'll dip into GC3 for a minute, but I've been in that ballpark for like 5 freaking years. So I have a very strong base of decision making, and I can turn off my brain and trust that my instincts are going to make good decisions. And so if you feel as though you have that strong base of decision making, that's when you can start to turn off your brain and just let your muscle memory, let your brain sort of subconsciously make the decisions, and then really focus on cutting out the hesitation, getting to the ball fast, beating your opponents to the ball. Because beating your opponents to the ball and keeping the pressure on them is very valuable, but it is secondary to good decision making in general. But the point I'm making is this ball is your ball, and it's the very start of the game. Your teammate hasn't given you any reason to think that they're going to double commit with you for a ball that's not theirs. Look at this angle. This ball's kind of come this way and you're perfectly here for it to intercept it and, keep the ball in play going in this direction some way. Meanwhile, your teammate you saw just rotated out in this direction. There should be no reason that he's turning for this ball. And even if there is, by the time you've gone for this ball, he's still going to be turning. He won't have had the time to double commit with you in the first place, right? If you just go for this ball that is your ball in this specific situation, your teammate, there's almost no possibility that your teammate double commits with you here, because by the time that you would have actually gone for the ball, he would have had plenty of time to see that. He would not have even been in position to go yet. So just hesitant here. This is completely 100% your ball to keep in play, and you just don't go. So first little note we're spotting is hesitation so far. good boost steal before attacking the ball. It's always, always, always like a lot of people, right? There's that meme. There's that meme in Rocket League, like boost over ball. Like people constantly will make fun of people like and say, oh my god, he went for the boost over the ball, what a noob. But in reality, a lot of the time going for boost over ball is actually the right play. Because if you can boost starve your opponent, you're able to lock them down on offense much easier and much harder. And a lot of the time the boost over ball meme is kind of more of a defensive thing, like, oh, your opponent's about to shoot, but you're going for boost and now the net's open. There's no point grabbing that boost if you're going to get scored on anyways. That's more so what that meme is directed towards. But even on defense, sometimes if like you're shadowing the play and they're bringing it towards their corner, a lot of the time it doesn't hurt to grab the boost just to boost starve your opponent and keep them from having 100 boosts on your end. That's kind of getting off topic, kind of ranting there. But what I really like here is that you did grab this boost before making the play on the ball just to further facilitate continual offense here. Okay, what am I going to say here? Let's back it up. What am I going to say here? Some people are going to know. Some people aren't. Ask yourself, what am I going to say here? What I'm going to say here is, what was the point of going up for that ball? In what scenario does anything beneficial come out of going for this ball here? Bam, you're going up for this now. What are our options? What are our options here? Our options are to hit this ball somewhere off of the wall here, where it bounces off in some direction like this. Your teammate's in their corner, so he's not a passing option. So you're not doing anything by hitting this ball except shooting it downfield towards your net, where either of these offensive players come and collect the ball and they have a free net back on your end. Other option, you're going up for the ball and you hit it in this direction. Same thing, it's off the backboard. Your teammate's not there as a passing option. This guy comes out, shoots the ball in the open net behind you. Okay, and last option, you go up and you get a really tight angle shot, but that really tight angle shot is going to mean that it's a very weak and slow shot, and it's just going to be rolling, falling down towards the net at about 10 miles an hour. This guy should have no problem saving it, and that's about a 1% chance that you're actually hitting that shot to begin with. So this ball here, you had absolutely zero reason to go up for. There's nothing beneficial that can come out of going for this ball. So that's something you need to think about. If your teammate's not behind you or in the process of already recovering from their last attack, then they're not a passing option. So you need to keep that in mind. Don't pass to nobody, because if you're passing to nobody on your team, guess what? That means you're passing to the other team. And if you're hitting this off of the back wall, off of your opponent's back wall with no teammate to collect it, that means they're going to collect it. You've committed, your teammate's not rotated back yet. That's an open net behind you. So really, really worthless ball to go up for here. Instead, what you could have done is honestly stayed on the ground, keep driving forward, but on the ground, waiting, seeing if your teammate's going to recover or if they're really messing up. If your teammate's really messing up the recovery, then all you can do is really buy time for them, right? Maybe fake challenge, get one of these two players to throw the ball away and you collect it back on your end while your teammate's recovering. Or again, you're just waiting on the ground here, and then as the ball gets closer to the ground, if you're confident you can beat this player, you jump up as the ball's maybe here instead of up here, you're down here, and you just jump up and you get a light touch that keeps the ball in this corner close to you so that you can possibly go again. And by this time, your teammate should have recovered, should be on his way behind you. And that means if the ball gets past you now, it's fine because your teammate's behind you and you'll be recovering behind him. And if the ball doesn't get past you, you're able to go again, then your teammate's now in position to be ready to shoot on a net that you might make open for him. So I said a lot for that play. I hope that makes sense. But as second man here, with your teammate still recovering, still not behind you, you got to be careful to not make a worthless play that gives away the ball, gives your opponent an open net behind you. You see your teammate in the corner, He's not a passing option, so going up for this ball, there's no outcome that is beneficial for you. So instead, you want to take your time a bit more here. Take your time. Let's go back. Let's go back. I see the urgency. You want to make sure there's no shot coming in. You got to block a shot that could be coming in. But keep in mind, it is worthless to go up for a ball if you're whiffing it anyways. So if you don't have the aerial lined up and you're not going to hit the ball, it'd be better to take the extra half a second to line up and make sure you're actually going to hit the ball than to go up fast but miss the ball anyways. Just keep that in mind because that happens a lot, even at higher ranks. Most of the time, it's almost always better to actually take the extra quarter second, extra half second, complete your turn, right? Complete your turn to actually line yourself up with the ball here, right? If you would have taken an extra just second to get lined up with the ball before you go up, you could actually hit the ball. And even if it means that you are a quarter second to a half second slower, if this guy was up for the shot and you're at least here blocking this angle, you're still pretty much blocking most of the net. You're still good. So just keep in mind, it's better to hit the ball than to go up fast and miss the ball. Okay, let's go back one more time. We're really far spaced away from the play here. This is fine. This isn't too bad. Okay. It's not too bad. I'm debating saying something here. I think what I would have done here, and what I would probably like to see here, is once you see that your teammate gets beat, here, what's the issue now? What is the issue? The issue is, and this is not really super common knowledge, but the issue here is that you're not shadow defending, right? If the opponent is moving the ball down this side of your field and you're approaching at this angle, it makes it really hard on you as a defender and really easy as an attacker to beat you. That's why we shadow defend. Because if he wants to, as you're approaching the net at this angle and he's coming at this angle, let me draw these a little bit more realistically. Something like this angle and you're coming at this angle. At any point in time, he can pass this to a teammate who's midfield and that teammate can shoot it anywhere they want. He can do as he does and put you in a really awkward position with you pushing too close to the ball and then he hits it around you and it's a free net again. There's a lot of ways that he can outplay you when he's got you what we call crossed up. You're crossed up on defense right now. And what I mean is he's approaching at this angle, you're defending at this angle. He's got you crossed up versus shadow defending where he's coming down this angle. What I want to see you do, notice he doesn't have possession of this ball right now. I'll play it through. You'll notice after he beats your opponent, or your teammate, after he beats your teammate, he briefly doesn't have control of the ball, which means you have now time to set up into a shadow defending position. Close down this space. Never in this moment are you thinking you're going to go for the ball unless he's really messing up, but most like 95% of the time you're not trying to go for the ball here, you're just setting up shadow defense. You're moving in this direction. And then once you get here, you're turning and you're shadow defending. Now look at, if this is him, you coming and shadow defending. And now anything he does, the purpose of shadow defending is that you're mirroring his angle. And anything he does, any movement he makes, you can match it. Any angle he takes on the ball, you can match it. It's much easier to defend. And again, at any point in time, if he loses control, because you've closed down this distance, say he loses control here, bam, you can challenge. He loses control here, bam, you can challenge. He loses control here, bam, you can challenge. But if you're out here and he loses control here, well, you're too far to challenge. He's got time to recover the ball and keep going. Loses control here. You're too far. He's got so much space he's got no pressure on him. If he loses control, it's completely fine for him. And at this rank, at Diamond, Champion, people are going to lose control of the ball a lot. So you want to be in position to capitalize when they do. So again, let's go back one more time. You'll see as soon as your teammate gets beat, in order for him to beat your teammate, he had to temporarily lose control of the ball. Bam, he doesn't have control of the ball. That's when you're flipping this direction. Preemptively, you're getting ready to turn back this way because all you're doing is closing this distance to shadow defend. You're not getting ready to challenge the ball. Bam, he brings it in this position. You're here. Bam, he brings it down here. Okay. You're probably about here. Still probably not challenging, just waiting. This play probably develops slightly different once he sees that you're there. But he probably plays this slower if you're right there. But let's just stick with this scenario. Okay. You're here, facing the net, between the ball and the net. And now, he puts it off the wall there. You're here. It bounces off the wall. All you have to do is turn out and follow the ball. Turn out and follow the ball. Easy peasy. Or if he shot that, which it would have been a really hard shot, most likely you don't have to worry about the shot there. But if he does, then again, you're lined up with it. You jump up and you save it. It's going to be a little hard, right? That scenario, that defense, that save might have been hard, but it's equally as hard for him to get that shot on target in the first place. And that's definitely a skill you're going to need going forward, shadow defending. So make sure whenever possible, whenever you have time to uncross yourself up to get into a shadow defending position, you always want to put yourself in that shadow defending position. Let's go back here. Kind of gave away possession. Not kind of. You definitely give away possession with this. So far, first takeaway, hesitation. You were a bit hesitant on a ball where you didn't need to be. That was just one instance so far we've seen. Second thing we've now noticed, make sure you are shadow defending. When you notice that you're crossed up, quickly close down the distance, fake challenge, and then turn to a shadow defending position. And now this one, I'm just generalizing everything so that you can apply it to your gameplay. I really like to generalize things so that they're easy to think about, easy to remember. Don't give away possession. If you've got the time and space to keep the ball close, then do so. Because this touch here does nothing except give the ball to core. And now core is just going to hit the ball back your direction. You've wasted boost just to give the ball back to them. Instead, what you should have done here, bam, H2 goes. Notice, I think he's backwards right now. It's a little blurry. I think he's backwards. He's pretty far away from the ball. What you can do here is actually just single jump into the ball. As it's bouncing, single jump up into it, get a very soft touch that keeps the ball close to you. And then if Huju is rotating out here and not challenging you, then you have the time to get the ball in your hood, get it in a flickable position, and then by the time core comes and challenges, you most likely can easily beat him with a flick. Or if Huju decides not to rotate out, you've taken that soft touch, then your play is most likely just to take a 50-50 on the ball, where Huju is very low boost because he just challenged the ball. You take a low 50 on it. After that 50-50, you've now got the advantage to play the ball past Huju, because he's got no boost. You've probably got around 50 boost. You just took a 50-50. Who's in a better position there? Obviously you. And then, to top it off, if you're able to play the ball past Huju fast enough after that 50-50, you're kind of in a 2v1, because core is going to be, if he's, okay, I'm not even going to explain that because it's going to be very situational. But yeah, those are the plays here. Instead of giving this ball away, take a light touch on it, try to stay close, get it into a flickable position, in a carry, into a dribble. And if you can't do that, at least take a 50-50. But that touch there does nothing but give the ball away to be slammed back to your head. Uh-oh. So what's the issue here? Oh man, really, really minute. Really tough to say anything about that other than it's just that drive forward. It's such a small detail, but I do promise you, I'm not just saying this because it's a replay, and I'm not just saying this because hindsight is 2020. A higher level player would not see this ball here and then start driving forward like you do here, because again, all these players are stacked in this position. It is very hard to tell who's going for the ball, what's going to happen. But even if your teammate is going for this ball, he's most likely going to get 50-50'd. And so pushing forward here is risky either way. It's such a small detail, but just driving straight at the play, just driving straight up at the play as a 50-50 is about to come out, as your opponent's about to have a touch on the ball. Very, very bad situation. I think personally, what I probably would have done here is seen this. I would have seen that initial touch. And instead of reversing here, when I was creeping up, I would have probably turned out this direction. Maybe now slowing down in this area to see, okay, is my teammate going to get the ball? In which case I can turn up. Are they going to get the ball? In which case I'm turning back. But I think the main problem is just this very forwards and backwards motion you're doing. You're driving completely forward and then you're hitting the reverse button and you're driving straight backwards. When I think about it, at higher level play, you really never see somebody driving straight backwards. If you're driving backwards in a straight line, if you're driving backwards at all, really, except to maybe adjust your car to like catch a ball or something like that, but if you're reversing into position, you are doing it wrong. Avoid reversing into position and try to just, if you're creeping up and then you decide, oh, wait, I don't want to creep up actually, you need to turn forwards to reposition. You don't want to just creep up and then creep straight back. That, I think, is the best way to avoid what just happened here. Keep that general rule of thumb in mind. You will never see higher level players reverse back into position. Higher level players will always adjust their positioning by driving forwards, not by driving backwards. And then that would have avoided this situation. That took a lot of thinking about to identify how you could have fixed that, but I do think that is why this happened. You could say, oh, it's silly because it's too risky of a play to be moving up on, but the reality is even a higher level player might have pushed up in case there was an opening, right? You are pushing up in case there's an opening, but you recognize there wasn't an opening, which is good. You recognize you shouldn't be going, which is good. But the way you readjusted your positioning was the mistake. Instead of driving straight back, once you realize, you should have just drove forward and in a circle, and you would have been in a shadow position. And this ball here would be pretty easy to defend. Just drive up the back wall and you would have had that clear. So this is more just a mechanical issue here. Is there any way to be better positioned for this? Yeah, just really a mechanical, not the best, most solid, cleanest touch. And honestly, if it wasn't for your teammate here, this would be an open net because you're just banging it off the wall again, like earlier. Banging it off the wall where your teammate's not yet back, and that just means that your opponents get to push up for free. If your teammate's not here for this touch right now, HJQQ or Huju, my bad, Huju just comes up for a free shot on the net. It's an empty net. So well done by your teammate to bail you out from this poor touch. It was really just a speed thing, taking too long to get up for this ball. And then once you're up for this ball, if you were able to get to it slightly quicker, you could have the angle to push the ball this direction, moving it down this direction, versus you take too long to get to it. By the time you hit it, it's here, and you just have to hit it off the sidewall. And that sort of stems from as well, if you watch your positioning and your car's wheels, you are preemptively turning as if in this position, the way he's going to play this ball past your teammate is going to be to hit it out this direction. But 9 times out of 10 in this position here, the ball is most likely going to hug this sidewall. And so this is the ball you should be positioning for. Notice if we play it an extra half a second, bam. You are expecting this ball to come out in this direction. Look at the way you're facing. But I'm telling you right now, 9 times out of 10, the ball is going to hug this sidewall in this position. If your teammate's challenging a player in their corner from the sidewall, most likely it's going to come towards the sidewall. And if it doesn't, if he does hit this out towards you in this direction, you're better off facing in this direction, because then this is a free ball. Again, he's all the way back in the net. He's hit it to open space where you have plenty of time to turn and collect the ball. But as we see here, if you are facing this direction and it comes out this direction, you don't have as much time. It's not as free of a ball for you to turn and then go for the ball. So it's an experience thing. It's an experience thing, but just keep in mind, if you find yourself in this direction, most likely the ball is going to come out in this direction. Position for the ball to come out in this direction. Get ready to go for it as soon as it's over your teammate's head. And if he does manage to get the ball going this direction, you have plenty of time to turn and collect the ball back to your corner, to the mid boost, right up field, whatever you have time for. All right, let me go back. Good try, good try. I really like the touch to yourself here off the corner. That touch there, and then you're instantly ready to go for it again off the corner. Yes, you missed, but the idea was really good. You hit it to yourself, and then you're ready to go for it again. Hitting the ball to yourself, setting yourself up, like I said earlier, instead of hitting the ball to where you're giving it away to your teammate, you hit the ball to where you're setting yourself up to go again. That's something I preach a lot in almost every analysis I do. You could watch some other analysis if you want some more examples of that. Plug in my own videos. Go watch them all, guys. Go watch all 150 analysis or whatever on the channel. But you'll see me talk about it all the time. Don't hit the ball away to your opponents. Either hit the ball to your teammate or hit the ball to yourself so you can go again. And that's exactly what you did there. I really like that. And the misplay here. What am I going to say? I say this a pretty decent amount. Most people will probably know. But the misplay here is, look at the spacing. You have left your teammate on an island by himself here. After you came and challenged, and you know the ball's in this corner, the entire play is on this side of the field. That is your signal. Okay, let me start over. I've drawn out this diagram many times. If you're thinking about the field as divided into 9 squares, couple of rules. You and your teammate, 95% of the time, should be never occupying the same square. That's rule 1. You never want to occupy the same square as your teammate. And also 95% of the time, you should be within 1 square of distance from your teammate. You should avoid being a whole square's length away from your teammate. So in this scenario, if this is the blue net, just to keep it simple, if this is the blue net, the play is here, your teammate's here, and you are over here. you are too far away from your teammate and the play. Play, you're a whole square's length away from. Your teammate, you're a whole square's length away from. So, what I would want you to do is think about this spacing. Think about the fact that you almost never want to be a whole square's length away from your teammate, and you never want to have somebody a whole square's length away from the play, because that means nobody's pressuring the ball. And so when you came and challenged, again, this is the net here, you should recognize, oh, if I go for this boost, I'm now a whole square's length away from the play. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up and grab these middle pads. I'm going to challenge, I'm going to land, and instead of going all the way back for the corner boost, I'm going to start rotating back behind my teammate, grabbing these middle pads. Teammate challenges at some point in time, and I turn back to challenge. So getting rid of all this clutter on the screen, again, it would have looked like this. Grabbing these middle pads, your teammate goes and challenges at some point of time. If they get beat, that means they had to play the ball past him. It should be a free ball for you. If your teammate never challenges, then maybe you challenge, you turn and challenge while your teammate then rotates in behind you. Or if neither of you challenge, teammate just keeps coming back, you never challenge, somebody should probably challenge. But at the very least, you're in a much better position. Your teammate's not in a 2v1, you're not in a 2v1, it's 2v2, both players are on defense, you're ready to go. So keep that, diagram in mind, divide the field into 9 squares, more evenly than that. And you want to stay within a square's length away from your teammates. And you want to avoid being a full square away from your teammate and the play, right? If you're on offense, you want to avoid having all this space where nobody's challenging the opponents, because at that point, there's no pressure on them. They can do whatever they want. Could we have played this out better in the corner? It's not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of unplanned. It's kind of I don't know. I doubt that hit there was purposeful to set yourself up. If it was, it's not bad. Like, it comes out into a position where you can kind of go for it again. The opponent can kind of also go for it again, but it's not bad. If that was planned out, it's not a bad plan. If it wasn't planned out, then you need to sort of have a plan when you're going for this ball. Personally, what I would have done here, as soon as I see this bounce here, I probably would have came up to it and done a side diagonal flip towards my corner here, staying in front of the ball and hoping that the ball just goes right past this player. But if it doesn't, at the very least, I'm getting a 50-50 on him. And again, that allows me to not just give away the ball. It allows me to stay right next to the ball, stay on top of the ball, get a 50-50 if I have to, or if I am able to roll the ball right behind core, then I just have possession of the ball. And now if I play the ball fast enough, I'm in a 1v1, or if my teammate comes up field fast enough, I'm in a 2v1. So really finding ways to keep possession of the play, keep possession of the ball, not give it away. I think so far that's the most repetitive error, is not giving the ball away, not hitting the ball away from yourself, trying to stay close to the ball whenever possible. But if this was a planned touch to hit it off the sidewall and be able to follow up on it, if that was planned, it was not a bad plan. Was not a bad plan. Ooh, what a shot. Good job. Good job. Ooh, moist towelette. Putting on the moves. So again, you're only diamond 3. But watch this play. Watch this play one more time. And tell me if there was any hint that you could have turned upfield instead of downfield. Instead of immediately forfeiting the ball and turning to play defense. Watch this and tell me if you, as a Diamond 3 player, recognize any cue that you could actually turn upfield for a second and possibly capitalize on an opportunity. This is it's experience based, it's skill based, it is part of getting better at the game. A lot of being really good at the game is really being able to recognize when you're about to have an opportunity to bam, close a trap, freaking turn and burn on the ball, and capitalize on your opponent's mistakes. Capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes is one of the most important. It's not even an important skill to develop. It's just something that kind of develops naturally as you play more, as you get better. So tell me, watch this. Is there any cue? Where is there a mistake here that you could possibly capitalize on? Did you recognize it? One more time. All right. You might have recognized it. I recognized it right away. That's why you saw me pause and start rewinding. Bam. What is the guy on the ball trying to do here? He's trying to catch it, right? He's trying to catch it, either catch it and cut it in field, or catch it and roll it up the sidewall. But what happens? Bam, he messes up his catch. He gets that sort of touch where you're trying to catch the ball and you accidentally pop it. We all know that situation. You're trying to catch the ball on the side of your car, but once you hit it, bam, you accidentally pop it up into the air. So what happens here is he pops it. It's now going to hit the curve of the wall and bounce out. It's no longer going to roll up the sidewall. It's actually going to hit the wall and bounce out. So if you turn, recognize that he messed up that touch, you're able to turn. And then once that happens, you're able to be there instantly. Now, it is very situational, and there may be a play where they mess up that touch, but you're not close enough to justify going for it because you're still able to get beat. But if you had turned upfield here, the only way you get punished had you turned upfield here is if he corrects for that bad touch there and gets like a perfect pinch shot. You know, he drives up the wall as it's bouncing to the wall and he gets a perfect pinch shot towards your net. Very small percent chance that he gets that happens. And at worst after that, if you turned here and you realize you're still beat, well, maybe you can still get a 50. Maybe you turn and you're still playing defense with your teammate also playing defense. But the point is, had you recognized that he made that bad touch and you turned preemptively, there's a good chance you beat Core here and you guys are now on offense instead of being on defense. And again, that's a lot of what makes people better at the game, is recognizing those opportunities where your opponent messes up and capitalizing. And then instead of, again, like I just said, instead of being on defense here, where now you have potential to get scored on and go down in the game, you're instead on offense and you have potential to do the scoring and to go up in the game. And that's what a points-based game is all about. It's about who recognizes their opportunities more, who capitalizes on their opportunities more, and scores the most points. And the only way you can score the most points is to put yourself on offense. And the only way you can put yourself on offense is if you recognize the opportunities afforded to you. I was going to say, don't aerial for this. Don't aerial for this. 30 boost here. That's why you don't want to aerial for this. All right. Recognize once you go up for this, if I could click the video and make it pause, that'd be great. Bam, you get 30 boost from the side wall. The ball is bouncing away from the wall. And I hate to be that guy, but you're diamond 3. Was it diamond 3? Maybe diamond 2 in this analysis. There is, again, a 5% chance that you actually do something good here. And with 30 boost, by the time you reach the ball in this position, you're going to be out of boost. So then after you make whatever touch you can make on the ball, once it's up in the air here, you're done and you've got 0 boost, which means it's going to take you a long time to get back and recover. So you want to avoid going for a ball it's just too optimistic. Not even too optimistic. It's really about the fact that you only have 30 boost here. And by the time you actually hit the ball, you're going to be up in the air and your recovery is going to take forever because you've got no boost. So this is a lot to think about. I'm pointing out a lot, and that's natural at this rank that I'm going to have a lot to point out. I don't want you to get overwhelmed, and I don't want you to think you have to implement all of these things at once. Keep a couple of these things in mind as you play and try to improve on them. Once you start ingraining them into your core decision making and it starts to feel natural, then you add a couple more things and you start trying to do those things. I remember I used to do this all the time when I would watch like Squishy. I used to love watching Squishy stream or watch his YouTube videos, and I would literally like take mental notes, maybe even sometimes take physical notes. I don't quite remember. And then I would try to implement those things into my own game. Like how he played a certain ball out of the corner. I'm like, whoa, I've never seen that done before. I'm going to try that next time I'm in that position. Things like that. And in this position here, 30 boost. By the time you get to the ball, you're going to be out of boost, which means your recovery is going to take forever. What's the play? He missed. What's the play? Ooh, good fake. Good try, good try. Your mechanics, I mean, honestly, like, I've got a lot to say, but you look good. I mean, mechanically, honestly. Decision making wise, game sense wise, you look average for a diamond 2, diamond 3 player. Like, you look about where you're supposed to be decision making wise, but mechanically, I would say you look above average mechanically. So, take that however you will. I think that's a compliment. Good try. That could have been a goal if you got the right shot there. Good job not diving onto that ball when your teammate was already there. There you go. Good patience. Really well done. Really good last 20, 30 seconds. That's an open net. Hey, missed. That's okay. Good patience again. Well done. Oh, yeah. Let's go. That was a really good last like 30, 35 seconds there. I could tell you just sort of turned on the gas. Jeez Louise. You're like, all right, I'm done with this bullshit. I'm going to fucking carry this motherfucker to a victory. All right. I mean, good job hitting it to open space here. I was going to say, recognize you just heard the demo behind you. At that point in time, you'd probably want to be looking up into the corner of the screen, seeing who demoed who. If your teammate's dead, I was just under the assumption this was probably your teammate who was dead here. And so I really wasn't liking the fact that you were going up the wall for this again, because by the time you went up to the wall, you don't have much boost. And secondly, because if you don't have a teammate, it actually might have, actually, I think was the opponent who got demoed. So I take it back. But if this was your teammate who got demoed, it makes this play even less worth going for because nobody for your team is going to be there to do anything on this ball. So you're essentially just giving this ball away to your opponent. But the fact that it was your opponent who got demoed here makes this slightly better. You are still pretty much just giving the ball to them at the end of the day, but you're at least hitting it well and into open space. So you're buying yourself some time here. The one positive out of this play. You bought yourself a really good amount of time. Let me go back actually to that play where you went off the wall. Yeah, okay. There's nothing to say there after that. Again, going up fast when it'd be better just to take the extra second to actually hit the ball. Especially in this position, it's pretty easy to see that he's not getting there for the shot. So you definitely have the time to take your time there. You don't even have to go up for the ball. Because again, notice, recognize he's not there for it. So if you just stay on the ground and drive towards the boost, secure your back corner boost, and then go for this ball, that's a great option as well. But if you're going to go up for this, again, it would have been better to take the extra second to line up and actually hit the ball versus go up fast, whiff, and now you're out of the play and you wasted boost for no reason. Try to cut out the whiffs. Try to cut out the whiffs. I used to be, I mean, not used to be, I used to really preach 3 golden rules for ranking up. Still are great, a great 3 golden rules, which I'll shout them out right now. Number one, as I just said, don't whiff. Cut out the whiffs. I'm not going to go into detail on why on each one. I actually have a video. Search 3 golden rules for ranking up, cracked Zach, or 3 golden rules, cracked Zach in YouTube. It'll come up. It's a longer video, but I go over everything and why. It's a really old video, so it's kind of a really low quality video. But I've got all the explanations for why these are my 3 golden rules for ranking up. Don't whiff. Don't double commit. And the last one was pick up your pads. Don't whiff, don't double commit, and pick up your pads. And those will pretty much get you to Grand Champ. Those 3 golden rules. Don't whiff. And they actually get a goal. They equalize off the whiff. So again, you don't whiff there, you win the game, most likely. You don't whiff there, you probably win this game. Uh-oh. Heartbreaker. Oh, and that's the FF. I wouldn't have forfeited with 4 seconds left coming up on a kickoff. That was definitely not forfeitable. You could have definitely played that out. 4 seconds, you could definitely get a kickoff goal. Hindsight. Future reference. 4 seconds left. It's a kickoff. Don't forfeit. What the heck? Hell no. It could go literally straight into their net. Anyways, that's it. That is it. Biggest takeaways. I think the most consistent one was the whiffs, honestly. You had three or four whiffs. And then the second biggest takeaway is definitely try to get better at keeping the ball, keeping possession of the ball, staying close to the ball. You don't want to... Sometimes to stay close to the ball, you have to sacrifice game speed a little bit. But if you can really do it, if you can manage to keep possession of the ball while maintaining the game speed, while finding a way to still like keep the ball moving quickly, that's even better. Because if you can keep the ball close and you have to slow down, that's good. It's not bad. It's definitely better than just hitting the ball away and giving it away. But if you can keep the ball close while managing to play fast, while managing to keep the ball moving fast, that's even better. Maybe it's stepping stones, as any skill is, as developing any skill is, start with just focus on keeping possession of the ball, keeping the ball close. If that means you have to sacrifice some game speed, so be it. And as you get better at it, start trying to find ways to keep the ball close, keep possession of the ball, set yourself up, set your teammates up with every touch, right? One way to think of it is every touch that you make. I used to say this a lot. I kind of stopped saying this so much for a while now, but every touch that you make should either be setting yourself up, setting your teammate up, or should be a shot. Those are the three things. Every single touch you make should either be setting yourself up, setting your teammate up, or a shot. A touch that is threatening, makes the opponent sweat, makes them have to go up and save the ball. If your touch isn't one of those three things, then what is it? It's worthless and it's giving away possession of the ball, and that's all there is to it. If every touch you make is not either a touch to set yourself up to go again, or a touch to your teammate, or a shot, it is essentially a worthless touch. Other than that, it was just pointing out things here and there. But as far as recurring mistakes, the biggest ones are definitely your whiffs. Cut out the whiffs and keep possession of the ball. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. A lot to take away from it. If you learned something, leave a like on the video. Would really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out my other videos. Got tons of educational videos on the channel to help you guys rank up. So that way when you get to my rank, I don't have to worry about having dookie booty teammates on my team. Leave me a comment on what you're going to take away from this video and implement into your own games. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, enjoy the new season.